In section 2.2, the limit of a function. Giving a graph of a f of x, for example, here we have a f of x function here, the graph, and there you should be able to answer a couple of these questions. Okay, let's look at the first two together. Okay, so the part A, this particular one says limit as x approach to negative infinity of fx, and the second one says limit as f of x approach to infinity. What does it equal? So if you look at this graph in general, as our f of x go towards a negative infinity, as x go towards infinity, then we can see that our function approaching to y equal to 0. And on the other side, it's the same thing. As x approach to a positive infinity, our x also approach to 0. Now let's look at the next three. Limit as x approach from 3 from below. That's why the negative is not a negative 3. It means we're coming from the 3 from the left-hand side versus 3 from the right-hand side. So the way we say this is limit as x approach to 3 from the left, and this is limit as x approach from 3 from the right. Or sometimes you would hear people say from the below versus above. Okay, so let's take a look at these two. So the first, let's look at from below. So here's 3. This is 3 right here. So as x approach from below or from the left, okay, so here's our function, and we continue the function. As a function go towards 3, it's approaching to what? To y equal to 1. On the other hand, if you go from the right-hand side of this function or above, you go from here and skip into this line and then go towards 3, also approaching to 1. So both of these limit approaches 1. Now, we say the limit of x approaches 3 equal to 1 when from below and from above all heading towards the same number. But if you look at f of 3 at that point, it's actually not defined. F of 3 is this empty circle right here. So it's not defined at when x equal to 3. That's why it do not exist. Now, let's look at the other ones. Now, same question, but this time it's negative 3 from below and above. Okay. Now, unlike the other one, if you look at negative 3, from below it go towards negative 2. From above it go towards 0. And since they don't match, so we say the limit at that point actually doesn't exist. So limit do exist if you go from below, it approaches to negative 2, but from above, it approaches 0. Since they are not the same number, so we say in general, limit as x approaching negative 3 do not exist. Versus, let's review the last one, these three right here. Since they both approach to 1, so therefore the limit at 3 approach to 1, versus the negative 3 do not exist. Now, last but not least, let's look at 5. It's the same thing. Now, this time they do match, so limit at x approach to 5 is negative infinity. But let's look at what an example look like. Okay, you can't have infinity because if you look at where 5 is, it happens to have an asymptote. So as x approach to 5, from the left side or from below, it goes towards down to negative infinity, and from the right-hand side, it's going to do the same thing. But even though they're not approaching to a number, but they approach to a negative infinity. If they both approach the same thing, then we say the limit of 5, the limit as x approaches to 5 of f of x does equal to negative infinity.